Hi everyone. Aside from P's that we have learned previously from Mendel's experiment, there are also example of law of segregation in human. So what works on P's also works on human. It's the same thing. For example, cystic fibrosis. So it is an inherited autosomal, which is not sex-linked, recessive disorder. It affects 1 in 2,000 white people in Britain. Sufferers from cystic fibrosis therefore have the recessive homozygous genotype. Even though carriers are healthy as they have a dominant allele, but it carries the recessive allele and may pass it on to their children. So sufferers of cystic fibrosis produces excessive amounts of mucus in their bronchi and bronchioles, in pancreatic duct and in the testes in males. This leads to blocked airways and infection in the lungs and incomplete digestion in the duodenum as pancreatic enzymes are unable to reach the food. Meanwhile, males with excess mucus in the testes may be sterile. Sterile maksudnya mandul lah, tak boleh ada anak. To suffer from cystic fibrosis, a child must receive a recessive allele from both parents. But the parents does not necessarily display symptoms as the dominant allele is also present. So the parents might be just a carrier. Therefore, the parents must be heterozygous for the condition. It is possible for two parents without the condition to have a child with cystic fibrosis. Two healthy parents who are carriers therefore have a 1 in 4 or 25% chance of having a child with cystic fibrosis sebab dia recessive, so only 25% of chance of getting it. If two heterozygous parents have 3 children who are healthy, it does not mean that the fourth child will definitely be a sufferer. Bukan macam tu Bukan 3 ni sebab 1 tu maksudnya 3 anak normal, 1 tu confirm tak normal, bukan. Dia each time like I said in the lecture previously, so each time you reproduce, you beranak, so dia akan ada 25% chance of the child having a cystic fibrosis. So kalau ada 4 anak, there's a possibility that semuanya normal juga. 25% je probability yang boleh dapat cystic fibrosis ni. Okay, for example, this is the genotype. Kalau C besar, it is normal. Kalau C kecil, cystic fibrosis. So kalau healthy individual ada homozygous dominant, CC dia healthy lah. So kalau heterozygous, dia healthy but a carrier. Tapi kalau homozygous recessive, they could be a sufferer of cystic fibrosis. So the phenotypic and genotypic ratio, kalau parent is one homozygous dominant, another one is heterozygous, so the chances of getting cystic fibrosis is 0 sebab yang dominant ni will always suppress the recessive. So the kids will insyaAllah be 100% healthy. Bukan 100% healthy lah. At least they don't have the cystic fibrosis lah. Penyakit lain tu kita tak sure lah kan. Tapi at least they won't have cystic fibrosis if one of the parent is homozygous dominant. And the genotypic ratio would be 1 C besar and 1 C besar C kecil. Okay, meanwhile, there's another disease called the Huntington's disease. This one is caused by an autosomal dominant allele. Okay, so only one dominant allele needs to be present to be expressed. Therefore, sufferers who are heterozygous for the condition will be affected. So, sebab dia autosomal dominant. So, asalkan ada je allele dominant ni, dia akan dapat that penyakit lah Huntington's disease ni. So, Huntington's disease affects 1 in 10,000 people and is characterized by progressive lack muscular coordination and mental deterioration. In fact, the brain shrinks by about a quarter for Huntington's disease. So, as it is caused by a dominant allele, the chance of children inheriting the condition from an affected parent is 50% or 1 in 2. Typical pattern of an autosomal dominant allele is the appearance of the condition in every generation. So, every generation selalunya akan ada yang dapat penyakit tu. Every affected person has an affected parent. Sebab dia akan dapat yang dominant allele tu daripada parent dia kan. So, dia memang akan dapat. For example, kalau yang ada allele allele dominant, you akan dapat Huntington's disease. Kalau recessive, normal. So, kalau both homozygous dominant, memang sufferer lah. Even if the heterozygous is also sufferer because ada satu, walaupun ada satu je allele dominant dia, but it can still it can still get the Huntington's disease. Only yang homozygous recessive yang healthy. So for this type of autosomal dominant, dia punya inheritance pattern is 50-50 So there are 50% chances of getting Huntington's disease from your parents. So this is the example of law of segregation in human. Bukan dalam peace je lah, dalam human pun boleh berlaku juga. Yang peace tu kita buat sebab dia senang nak tengok kan karakteristik dia. Kalau you nak buat eksperimen in human memang payah lah kan. Nak tunggu bersalin pun berapa lama dah 9 bulan kan. Okay, so it must be noted that the law of segregation and law of independent assortment can also be applied in human. Okay, itu saja for now. Thank you.